A short update on the energies. November 24, 2014. And so it is that we once again would like to take the opportunity to connect with you all in this more formal manner, if you will, or rather, by way of words, in addition to the countless less visual ways of information that we utilize to connect with each and every one of you. For by now, you are all becoming quite well versed in the ability to tune into the more silent ways of communication, the ones that are merely vibrations instead of going by way of a human's head, hands, and eyes and in through your eyes, mind, and heart by way of your electronic equipment. Again, merely trying to explain all of the details that are necessary for us to convey our messages in this kind of fashion takes time, and yes, words, and so, we would like to delve a little bit into the more invisible means of transportation of information that are taking place even as we speak in these convoluted terms by way of sharing words that will be typed down, corrected, and then published electronically. For during the time it takes for us to convey just a short sample of these words, there is a veritable ocean of information that is passed on by more direct means, and not just through this channel that we are using to disperse our words. No, this is something that is passing through each and every one of you at a speed and at a rate that would make anyone almost faint just trying to digest the very idea. And now, this stream of consciousness, if you will, has grown exponentially just over the space of a few short weeks, and as such, the traffic is more than heavy, and it can literally feel as if you are in the middle of an afternoon rush at times where it may seem so congested. It is as if everything is stuck and unmoving and unreachable. But that is not so, for this information cannot be held up. It is merely your physical body that at times like these tries to sort out all of the signals coming in, and by doing that, it is in actual fact merely adding to the confusion it itself has already created. In other words, your physical body is still trying to come to grips with the fact that it does not need to try to control all of the information that is coming in by way of these energetic emissions that are being projected onto your planet. All it has to do is once again the same thing we have asked you to do, merely to allow the flow. But again, your own inherent survival setup, if you will, is still largely geared towards handling the old and much denser vibrations, and as such, it can be a little bit slow on the uptake. But that will soon rearrange itself, as your own body also has a capacity for intelligent processing of data that it has kept mostly dormant over the eons in preparation for a time like this, when it will once again become activated to such a degree, all kinds of informational sequences will be handled effectively and speedily, no matter what kind of vibrational signature or content it carries. And as such, the teamwork between the more esoteric and the physical parts of your being will start to run much more smoothly in the not-too-distant future. You see, there are so many changes happening at such a rapid rate now, there are bound to be what can only be referred to as lags where one aspect of your being will be advancing ahead of the rest of you. And now, as you are in the middle of just such a period of expansion, you would all be hard-pressed to keep it all together, as the saying goes. And so, we would like to take this opportunity to remind you all that there will be periods of chaos and bewilderment, even perhaps utter confusion, but do not let that faze you in any way. For as we have already told you, what comes apart now will do so in order to make it possible to unify all of these at times seemingly very scattered fragments back into a whole that bears little comparison to the old and outdated version of your being. So again we say know that all is well, no matter what transpires in the upcoming period, and we also venture to guess that you will also have shorter or longer periods of what we can only describe as bliss and a deep state of knowingness that will help you to better see what it is that lies ahead. For this period of fragmentation is only a temporary one, and even if it may cause more than a few of you to hit the panic button at one time or another, know that you will also know in the very core of your being that the panic that may start to arise is simply a small disturbance on the surface, much like the waves that will be churned up by a heavy storm. But just like in the ocean, these energetic upswells will never be able to disturb the equilibrium that exists at all times below the surface, and so too it is with each and every one of you. So do not berate yourself if you react to the onslaught of these energetic swells in ways that you perhaps may think is beneath you, for they are simply triggered by any tension that still lies within that outer layer of your being. But even so, they will not do anything at all that may cause you any problems at a deeper level, for there, you are already fully balanced and you will continue to be so no matter how high the waves become or how much disturbance you might be able to perceive on the outside. And this goes for all of you, whether you observe the effects in your own being, or whether you observe the effects in your surroundings. For this can in many ways be likened to a thunderstorm, where nature seeks to balance out any energetic imbalances by literally firing off neutralizing charges to those spots that are too highly charged one way or the other, in order to rectify this imbalance. And so too it is with you. In other words, all of this emotional thunder and lightning will sooner or later come to an end and you will find yourself breathing easier in every kind of way as all of these wildly fluctuating ground currents will become much more balanced. So perhaps this will also allow you to better be able to take a step back and simply observe the display of energetics being played out, both near and far. For remember, everything that happens now does so for a reason, and the end goal for all of this at times frenzied activity is simply this, to reinstate the state of equilibrium that this planet has so sorely needed for such a long time. But in order to attain that goal, there are a lot of energetic pockets that will and must be opened so that the contents of them can be entrained with what is already accomplished at a deeper level. And so, expect this energetic storm to continue on for quite a while yet, but do not take it as a sign of doom and gloom. Rather, take it for what it truly is, a carefully composed energetic symphony created in order to help everything fall back into place after having been literally out of tune for eons. So continue to take everything that comes with an open heart and with an open mind, and know that even if you yourself may feel more than a little bit wobbly in so many ways, you will soon be able to continuously connect with a deep layer of your being that is already fully balanced, and you will be able to do so at all times, no matter how much energy that will be blowing around your ears in the time ahead. For as we said earlier, this incoming flow of information and energy will not slow down. In fact, it will continue to increase as your abilities to literally tune into it will also continue to pick up. And so, best get used to the idea that even if what you think of as balance and equilibrium may seem to be the most tranquil place to be, it will also at the same time be filled with so much information, you will literally be swimming in it. But you will be able to do so in a way that will enable you not only to absorb it but also utilize it without having to go through all of the extra work of literally putting it into words like these, and that in itself will help you all to find a way to stay afloat in this ocean of information without having to exert yourself too much. But until then, we will continue to serve up messages like these in a way that will help you to see the unseen by way of letters and the spaces between them. But over time, you will all begin to take in the fact that it is in fact the spaces between them that carry the most important messages. And with these words, we will once again leave you to ponder the full content of this message at your leisure. The Constant Companions. Channeled by Asia North. asianorth.wordpress.com